Mugello has just witnessed a comeback that sent shockwaves through the entire MotoGP paddock. After being humiliated and doubted by many, Marc Marquez arrived in Italy not looking for sympathy, but determined to silence every critic in the most brutal way possible. What he showed on the Mugello circuit left his rivals speechless, while his fans began to believe that the true champion is finally back. Could this be the sign that Marc Marquez is ready to turn the tables and begin his great revenge campaign in this MotoGP season? Let's discuss. The Mugello circuit once again delivered a weekend filled with surprises and high tension. A track that has long been considered one of Ducati's strongest fortresses unexpectedly became a stage for Aprilia's triumph. In front of tens of thousands of Italian fans packed into the grandstands, the Nola-based manufacturer performed almost flawlessly throughout the weekend and sent a clear message to the entire MotoGP paddock. This was not just about winning, it was about proving that Aprilia could dominate a circuit that had long been regarded as Ducati's territory. As soon as the lights went out, the battle exploded from the very first corner. Italy's two major forces, Ducati and Aprilia, immediately took control of the front of the field. Ducati relied on Francesco Bagnaia and Marc Marquez, hoping to take advantage of the Desmercedes' superior speed on Mugello's famous long straights. On the other side, Aprilia arrived with Marco Bezzecchi and Jorge Martin, both of whom had looked incredibly confident from practice sessions all the way through race day. From the opening laps, the differences between the two machines became clear. Ducati remained the king of top speed. Every time they entered the main straight, Bagnaia and Marquez gained a significant advantage thanks to the Desmercedes' outstanding acceleration. However, Aprilia possessed a different weapon. The RSGP was exceptionally stable through the technical sectors, maintaining high corner speed while delivering remarkable stability during rapid direction changes. This advantage gradually made it increasingly difficult for Ducati to match Aprilia's race pace. One of the most exciting spectacles of the race was the battle between Francesco Bagnaia and Marco Bezzecchi. The two Italian riders exchanged positions multiple times throughout the race. Whenever Bagnaia gained the upper hand through heavy braking at the end of the straights, Bezzecchi responded in the technical sectors, where the Aprilia excelled. Their duel kept fans glued to the action from start to finish. However, as the race reached its midpoint, the situation began to change. Bezzecchi gradually found a rhythm that none of his rivals could match. Lap after lap, he started building a gap. A combination of precise braking, excellent tyre management, and consistently fast cornering allowed the Italian rider to take complete control of the race. From that moment on, Bezzecchi looked increasingly comfortable at the front. Behind the leading group, the paddock's attention shifted to the fierce battle between Marc Marquez and Pedro Acosta. This duel was not only a fight for position, but also a clash between two generations of MotoGP talent. Acosta was aggressive as always, repeatedly attacking and trying to force Marquez into making mistakes. But Marquez showed his class. Despite not being fully recovered from the injuries and surgeries he had undergone in recent months, the Spanish world champion was still able to maintain a highly competitive pace. The two riders traded positions several times in incredibly close combat. On some laps, the gap between them was almost impossible to see. The lengthy battle became a tremendous physical and mental challenge, especially for Marquez, who continues to work his way back to full fitness. What made this performance so special was the fact that Marc never showed any signs of giving up. He continued fighting until the final lap against Acosta and the younger generation of riders. Although he ultimately finished only 7th in the main race, many observers viewed it as one of Marc's most promising performances of the 2026 season. Beyond Aprilia's victory, one of the biggest talking points throughout the weekend was Marc Marquez's performance. Ducati actually arrived at Mugello with a very cautious approach toward the reigning world champion. There were no expectations of a victory, no podium demands, and no pressure to fight for the front. The team's only hope was that Marquez could complete the race while maintaining a stable physical condition. However, what happened exceeded all expectations. In the sprint race, Marc delivered a highly competitive performance and finished inside the top 5. He even managed to challenge the leading group despite still recovering from surgery. That performance surprised many people within Ducati. After all, Mugello is one of the most physically demanding circuits on the MotoGP calendar. The high-speed layout, rapid direction changes, and heavy braking zones push riders to their absolute limits. The fact that Marquez was still able to fight near the front showed that his natural speed has not disappeared in the slightest. According to many observers, his performance sent a frightening message to his rivals. If Marc can still compete with the fastest riders while not yet fully fit, what will happen once he returns to 100% fitness? That is the question that is now beginning to haunt Ducati's competitors. Amid the ongoing criticism surrounding his disappointing 2026 season results, Marc Marquez's former rival, Andrea Dovizioso, finally shared his perspective. According to Dovizioso, Marc's main issue is not a loss of speed or a decline in ability. He believes Marquez is simply going through an extremely unlucky period. The repeated injuries have made it difficult for him to build momentum since the start of the season. Dovizioso even emphasized that Marc's fundamental talent as a rider has never disappeared. The only thing holding him back is a physical condition that has not yet fully recovered. That assessment perfectly matched what was seen at Mugello. Even without being in ideal condition, Marc still displayed the speed and mentality that have made him one of the most successful riders in MotoGP history. Interestingly, the respect for Marc Marquez is not only coming from MotoGP veterans. Pedro Acosta also made a surprising statement. The young KTM star admitted that he would not mind losing a World Championship battle to Marc Marquez as long as he had the opportunity to experience racing against the champion firsthand. For Acosta, Marc is more than just a rival. He is a symbol of a champion's mentality, courage, and the ability to bounce back from serious injuries. That statement highlights just how much influence Marc Marquez continues to have on MotoGP's new generation. Even during one of the most difficult periods of his career, Marquez's aura and reputation remain incredibly strong in the eyes of younger riders. In the end, Mugello 2026 will be remembered for two major stories. First, Aprilia's remarkable dominance, as they managed to embarrass Ducati on its home soil through Marco Bezzecchi's victory and Jorge Martin's podium finish. Second, Marc Marquez's gradual comeback, which once again demonstrated that he still possesses the mindset of a true champion. The 2026 MotoGP season is still a long way from being decided. However, after what happened at Mugello, one thing has become increasingly clear. Aprilia is no longer just a challenger. They have evolved into a genuine threat in the battle for the World Championship. And if Marc Marquez continues to show the same level of progress he displayed at Mugello, his rivals may need to prepare themselves for the return of the number 93 in the very near future. Is Aprilia's dominance at Mugello a sign of a shifting balance of power in MotoGP 2026, or will Ducati strike back in the next round? Share your thoughts in the comments below.